Hello, hey everybody. Look at us, back home. Yay. I'm Natalie. This is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we talk about the Scientology news that has the internet buzzing, touch on my 35 years in Scientology, leaving with 3 generations of my family. And I do interviews throughout the week. So when you hit the subscribe button, be sure to hit that notification bell as well. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Hello to everybody in the chat. Hello to the members. Big thank you to the mods for joining us. We got Nancy and Dip Me in Glitter here. Good to see all of you. Good to see. I need to get back in the setup of things, I flew in this morning and boy, are my arms tired. That's so stupid. Such a dad joke. Anyways, but it was really long because going from Hawaii to Minnesota is like going to Europe pretty much. I could get to England in about the same amount of time, I think. Or maybe a little bit more, but so worth it. But I am back here in the home studio and happy to be here with all of you. If everybody here could do me a favor and go smash that like button so we can get out even more notifications, that would be absolutely fabulous because we're covering a lot, even though we're a little later in the day here. We have got some Danny Masterson news that might have you go, what? We've got some protest news and more. We're going to talk about everything that's gone down with what Danny found with Wendell's stuff, the whole thing. We're going to talk about what happened with Hollywood Aja. All of it. We're going to get into a whole bunch of stuff. So get ready. If you have a question, if you could put question in front of it, that'd be great so that we could find it more easily. That would be absolutely fabulous. Welcome to everybody who's jumping in. Hey, Sandy McKenna. All right. So we are going to start over at, let's see. But let's start with a little funny. We're going to start with a little funny, with a little itsy bitsy Davey. This is PARADYTOLOGY, who I believe is in Austin. But, this just cracked me up.
Itsy bitsy Davey went to his room to pout, screaming on the floor and kicked his feet about. Up came his minions who touched his sister's pain. Now itsy bitsy Davey can be the staff again. Itsy bitsy Davey
One more time.
Pout, screaming on the floor and kicked his feet about. Up came his minions who touched his sister's pain. Now
that's just hilarious. PARADYTOLOGY created that little ditty there that's just going to be stuck in my head now, but it's fabulous. I like that. I love the creativity. I love the singing. Wasn't it fabulous? Yes, it was. I thought it was great. Did you guys hear? Let's talk about some celebrity gossip now because, that's like one of my, I love doing that too. Let's talk about a little bit of Suri Cruise news. Now, we've been talking about she turned 18. Tom Cruise's people have been on this whole thing trying to outrun the fact that as far as Suri goes, he's got nothing to do with that. People, do you know what she did? Did you hear what Suri, I keep calling her Suri Cruise did, and I just love her even more for it. Listen to this. Katie Holmes' daughter, Suri Cruise's major change to identity revealed. The teen is the daughter of Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise, reportedly already estranged from the Mission Impossible star. Suri Cruise is officially an adult after turning 18 on April 18th, and she's making some big decisions amid her milestone. The teen recently gave a subtle yet noticeable statement about her identity during a performance of Head Over Heels in New York. At the time, she was supported by her mom, Katie Holmes, and grandparents, Martin and Kathleen, as she took on the role of Philoclea, I think, in the stage show. But a look at the casting sheet reveals Suri is no longer going by her birth name of Suri Cruise. Instead, she has adopted her mother's middle name and is listed as Suri Noel. The Rising Star's birth certificate named her simply Suri Cruise. So look at that little cutie patootie. So it goes on to talk about how she's estranged from her dad, right? But it's like This girl is just dropping that name like a hot potato. And good for her, getting out, right? Making her own way. I could see how she'd not want to be connected to that. But I'm like, ooh, she did it. Like, that's bold, right? To just kind of like, I'm not saying that, I don't think she, well, actually, I didn't read the whole article, but I don't think she legally changed her whole name. It sounds like it was, for this, it's a name that she's using. She adopted the, Noelle to use as her name, but still, I feel like it sends a message. Doesn't it send a message? Tell me in the chat if you're catching this on the replay. No slack and jump in those comments. I was happy to see that, right? It was a little bit of a one finger salute to Daddy, at least I think it is. But love seeing it. Love seeing it. Okay. There is a new John Travolta movie that is out, and I've heard from a few of you who have seen it, and it sounds like the reviews aren't that great. I saw the trailer. I thought the trailer made it look like it could be a good movie, but you know how that goes sometimes. Sometimes it's just the trailer, and then that's about all. All the good stuff is in the trailer, and then there's nothing left. But we're just going to take a quick look at the trailer so you have this movie in your head, because people are saying that Grant Cardone and his cult 10X is featured in the beginning of the movie, which is not in the trailer unless it was super fast and I missed it. But let's just give you a little taste of this trailer for Cash Out. This is the new John Travolta movie.
This is it, babe.
Are you ready to play games?
There's a whole lot of luxury vehicles out here.
This one is priceless. Would you two like to sit in it?
My heart is racing.
Okay.
Lights out, starting now.
Down now! That's FBI. How would the FBI know?
Looks like an action movie. I thought it looked kind of good, but the people that I've heard from so far said that it wasn't that great. But when it comes out on some streaming platform where I don't have to pay for it, I will be watching it just to see, because I got to see this. It's in the beginning, and there's Grant Cardone and the 10X flags and all that. And he's got his own cult over there. And we're actually going to talk a little bit about that in another clip. Okay, let's talk about this Danny Masterson and how it seems or sounds like he is just living his best life in prison. What is up with that? Oh, it made my blood boil. Wait till you guys see this. We're going to take a look at a clip from a video from Jumpsuit Pablo. Is this Jumpsuit Pablo? Yes, it is. Based off, and I think it was In Touch did an article about it, going over his day and what things are like for the Danny Masterson. Listen to this insanity.
Masterson has a clique of guys around him, anyone to harm a curly brown hair on his head. That's according to a brand new Yahoo News article from their inside source. And they're talking about what a typical day looks like for Danny Masterson, according to him. And let me tell you now, it's filled with video games, pickleball, movies, and hundreds of dollars in snacks a month. I'm going to take you through this article and break it down. This says Danny Masterson's life in prison sounds more like a relaxing weekend than a punishment, sources exclusively tell In Touch.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just cannot. I cannot. Pickleball? Seriously? Movies? Apparently he's got some prison iPad. They can't just get anything on that, but you can get things on it. Yeah, ridiculous. It was completely ridiculous. I know, totally wrong. Totally wrong. Lily says Danny must be paying for friends in jail with snacks. Yeah, it could be. Could be, or cash too. Right, Paralogen? Ridiculous. Farrah, what the heck? I know. I heard that and I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Oh, that is just so nasty. Anyways, link to the video below if you want to see the whole thing. He goes through the In Touch article. It's pretty interesting, but it'll make your blood boil at the same time. Yes, it will. I just could not believe it. Could not believe I was hearing that. Does anybody watch SLOAN? He's a YouTuber here. I catch his stuff on occasion. I end up being so tied up watching Scientology content that I fall behind on some of the YouTube creators that I followed before. And SLOAN was one of them. He touches on Scientology in a recent video, a blind item as he calls it, where it's the video where he talks about how Ben Affleck goes on bizarre rant and cult leader reveals the truth about missing wife Shelly Miscavige. But I love Sloan. I love that he's talking about Scientology. He has a couple of times. I hope that he keeps it up. So let's take a little look at this clip from his video.
Now I'm ready to get into this next blind item, and it's about Scientology. So watch your backs. Apparently, the very first question this church leader is going to get asked under oath during his deposition is the whereabouts of his wife. Now, this is about David Miscavige, his Church of Scientology, and his wife, Shelly Miscavige, who hasn't been seen in over a decade. So this man, David, is the head of a big church, a very big and powerful church, and nobody knows where his wife is at. I need you guys to really understand. There's a leader of the church. Imagine, like, obviously the United States is a much bigger entity than Scientology, but imagine we had a president who had a wife who we hadn't seen in over a decade, and every time someone asked where this person was, we never got an answer. One person wrote that David Miscavige will lie about Shelly whether he's under oath or not. Do you really?
Now, I don't know why he bleeped Scientology, if that's just for effect, because yeah, I don't know. I know at least it comes across like he feels he needs to do that. He really doesn't, but it does make it kind of funny.
Think someone who runs a cult cares about being under oath? And maybe he'll spread his own propaganda on his new website, which is Scientology Network, a news source for this cult to spread their propaganda within their people and I guess to recruit others. And
that's right. Spreading that propaganda. I just love that he called it that. I get super excited about that because, you know, that's what we call it. Propaganda, propaganda, propaganda. So that was Sloan over here on YouTube. Now, somebody sent me this clip. And I'd like to say I couldn't believe it, but I could totally believe it. And it really speaks to how ironic it is that Scientology promotes itself as being the communicator, solving the problems of communication. In Scientology, there is no less than things that specifically address communication. Okay. There is a success through communications course for beginners. There's a children's communications course. So that's 2. There's the professional training routines course. So that's 3. These are all courses and training that Scientologists do to make them effective communicators. So that's 3. Then if you switch over to the other side, because that's on the training side of the bridge to total freedom. If you jump over to the auditing side, you have what's called grade 0, where if you do grade 0 in Scientology, you have the ability to speak to anybody about anything. Communication gets addressed over and over and over again. Yet, many times when we see a Scientologist, they're not really saying anything. And this clip is no different. This is an older one. Abby, I've not seen him without his shirt off. Does he do videos like that? Take a look at this. It's not Sloan without his shirt off. It is a Scientologist. This was from some years ago. That's why the video quality is poor. Telling us about her wins and gains on what are called the L rundowns. So in Scientology at Flag and Clearwater, when you get to, there, it's like the Utah for Scientology, Mormons, Utah, Scientology, Clearwater. And you do there's very specific things that can only be delivered at Flag. And one of them are these L rundowns. I don't even know what the L stands for. If anybody knows in the chat or the comments, can you tell me, any of my ex-Scientology friends? It's like L10, L11, L12. There's 3 of them. You do the L's. I've done my L's. It's a status thing in Scientology. It's supposed to make you like this superhuman, super capable person. And it's a bonus thing, right? Not everybody in Scientology does this, and it is not required. So you get the idea. It's supposed to be this like massive thing. You're going to be incredible, such an effective communicator, blah, blah, blah. Well, let's have this Scientologist tell us what her experience was like.
Show this to Vicky and Randy. So why don't you just tell Vicky, just imagine you're talking to Vicky and Randy.
Well, you guys wouldn't believe this. Okay, I did my L setup and I'm like, whoo, I'm all done. I feel so pure, so cleaned up, and so like I'm not much of a camera person, but so just like no problems, everything's just kind of done and said, and cleaned up, and I got really stirred up part of it, and then it just like got handled. And so I went into my session kind of nervous, going, what are they going to say to me? What is going to happen now? Right? What are they going to do to me? Right? And
Well, she got that part right. What are they going to do to me?
so I went in and I learned a couple things, and she had me on how to do this process. And we did this process, and it was like, oh my God. Like, I wish I could tell you the details, but I just signed a waiver saying I wouldn't.
Yeah, you can't say anything about it.
She can't talk about the process itself, but it sounds like a whole big nothing burger is what it sounds like. That she got like things were relaxed and things were calm. The L rundowns, people, cost tens of thousands of dollars for each of them. Okay. If you want to be calm and relaxed, you can achieve that on OT 420. You don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars doing that. But it just was such a great example of this lack of communication or ability to clearly communicate, especially on the topic of Scientology. Is it no surprise really that you really don't see Scientologists out there, doing the whole media tour talking about Scientology? This is probably why David Miscavige doesn't trust Scientologists to talk about Scientology, because they can't. So it's just buy a book, or it was just wow and boom and oh, and I was just like so relaxed. Yeah, me too. Just crazy. Did you guys catch Aaron growing up in Scientology? He did an interview with the SP Chef. You guys know I am a fan of the SP Chef. I've highlighted a few of his videos. Okay, here's the thing though. He tells this one story that almost made me fall out of my chair. It did. I almost fell out of my chair, and my chair is very high up off the ground too. So it would have been bad. But you got to hear this. And this is in the interview that he did with Aaron growing up in Scientology.
Nothing. I mean, it's a funny little story how I met David Miscavige, if you want to hear that.
Oh, please.
Oh, please. So this was during this incident when we were in the tent for the IS event. So I want to say I joined 2005. So this would have been in the same year, actually. It would have been in 2005 because I wasn't able to speak English yet, or very little, So I joined in September 2005, and the IS event would have been a month or so later in October. And so we were there with the sticks and doing that. And then suddenly I feel a tap on my shoulder. So I turn around and look slightly down.
That's the part that got me. I look slightly down.
And there was a man there, and then he was saying something, take a break. And I thought, oh, great. And then I turned to this lady who gave us the project to do this, and she was running towards me. And then
he goes on, there's more to the story, but I love that part. I turned around and then I looked down. Samuel is so fun to listen to. I agree completely. Rando Woodman, thank you for becoming a member. Hold on, why? There we go. Hip, hip, hooray, hip, hip, hooray. Thank you so much for that. Oh, it was such a great interview. You guys got to listen to it. Oh, wow, Diane. Diane says, best interview Aaron has done since your interview, Natalie. Wow. Yeah, I thought it was a really good one. Good to see you, Diane. If you guys remember, More Fun Than Sitting at Home, that's Diane. She did that 5K recently wearing their SPTV Never In shirts, and they got a big shout out at the venue for SPTV. It was super cool. It was great seeing Jack and Diane out there doing their thing. Teen in the last 20. OT 420 here, waiting for all you loser OTs to catch up to my level. Oh, yeah, it was a great interview, though. It was great. Okay. I could not believe. I feel like I missed so much because I had to fly. I woke up yesterday in Hawaii at 3 a.m. because we had a doctor's appointment for Tony, and I telehealthed into it. So, which was like at 3:20. So I wake up at 3 a.m. My flight wasn't until 12 something, but I wanted to make this appointment, did the recap, went to the airport, flew to Seattle. You got to wait there. You fly here, get here in the morning. I did take a nap though, and it was glorious. It was glorious. There was a point to what I was saying, and I completely forgot it because I am jet lagged AF. Let me tell you that. Oh, it was about what I was missing. So I was catching some stuff because I had Wi-Fi for a while on one of those flights. But at the airport, I was getting caught up. Did you catch the interview? Nora and literally Serge are just on fire. They are on fire. They are fire. These videos they're doing is great. And they did one on Grant Cardone and his whole 10X Kids University. He's basically monetizing child labor. And we've talked about Grant Cardone, his wife Elena. They've got this whole thing going on now with the kids, which is no surprise. He really is following the Scientology playbook with a lot of what he's doing. But let's take a little look at the clip. And this is Oh No, Nora and literally Serge.
Watching Grant Cardone with his daughters and watching his daughters talk is bringing back a lot of memories for me personally. If my dad had been successful in the way that Grant Cardone is quote unquote successful, I would have been Scarlet 100%. My dad used me constantly in his schemes that he was doing. When he was driving a taxi in San Francisco at the age of 6 and 7, I was sitting in the front seat with him 1 a.m., midnight, talking to passengers like a little teeny tiny adult, chatting it up with them to get extra tips. And then he would take a percentage of my tips because, you know, I was working for him.
That is such, that's like classic Scientology parent. I want you to remain in exchange so you're not out exchange. So I'm going to take a cut, you little child of 7 and 8, from the tips that you're making at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. But the main point of the whole video has to do with this whole 10X university for kids that Grant Cardone is doing. He is just following just right in the footsteps of L. Ron Hubbard in the cultiness. And when you watch the video, Nora and Serge really walk through it, and it really, really opens your eyes to how dangerous it actually is. So definitely when you get a chance, go check that out. Okay, now we're going to talk about what happened with Hollywood Aja just off of L. Ron Hubbard Way. It was caught on video by Aja, of course, herself and Danny. And we're going to take a look at 2 of those clips where, if you are not familiar, some time ago, I feel like it's been a couple months now, there is a man named Patrick Perry in Los Angeles who has a dog who has attacked protesters multiple times, including Aaron Smith-Levin when he was in California. And, you know, he goes out there with this dog that looks like a service dog, and he just like sticks them on people. Well, lo and behold, this person is just walking down the street with their, like, all in black with their face covered, because, you know, it's so cold in Los Angeles that you got to be wearing all the winter stuff that we wear here in Minnesota, with a dog wearing a service vest, and he gets into it with Hollywood Aja, which is just so crazy. Now, I have it muted because there are a million F-bombs, but you can watch it not muted. I put a link down below. You know, here's the guy, and she wasn't even videotaping that way. She was looking in the other direction, and he goes off on her, just goes off. But look, you can't tell me this guy isn't like trying to cause trouble. Tell me what you guys think what's happening here. Tell me in the chat, tell me in the comments, but look at him going off. Just attacks her. I mean, he just looks like a crazy man. Yelling all kinds of obscenities and stuff. Well, they're yelling them at each other. And then he tries to and look at this poor dog. The dog seems much nicer than this man. Truly. I mean, the dog looks like, I want nothing to do with this. I want nothing. Look at him going at Danny like that with the dog right there. After he takes his bandana down there. What kind of weirdness is that, right? So tell me in the chat, is this a paid Scientology agitator or a random Hollywood wacko? We should make that a game. Let's play Scientology agitator or wacko. You tell me. Okay, so let's take a look at this from another point of view, because Danny saw what was happening, Danny's impact, and he ran over there to help her out because he could see how aggressive this guy was being with his trying to make his dog attack, and the dog didn't want nothing to do with it. So Danny's running over there because he could hear across the street the yelling and what was happening. So you can see it from another angle here. And, you know, Aja's like backing up into traffic because this guy is like just on her with this dog. And then he sets his eyes on Danny as well. Look at that. And Hollywood Aja, though, she can hold her own. That's for sure. She can hold her own. This guy just does not know what to do. And look at the dog, like the tail's wagging. He's trying to make the dog super aggressive, but the dog is not having it. And I do believe it does say service dog on there, on the thing that he's wearing, which if it truly is a service dog, that's not the environment to expose a service dog to or to have there. That's right, Lisa Pete. Aja ain't having it. No, she is not. No, she is not. I agree, VTV. The dog was very confused. I felt for the dog. I really did. I really did. Oh, this is interesting too. Angela's saying, I'm not sure, you know, paid agitator or just, you know, Hollywood crazy. I'm not sure, but the dog reminds me of Borland, very reminiscent. And if you guys remember him, he's the guy who spit on William Good and just did some other just completely unhinged things and went on multiple tirades. You're right. He definitely gives Brian, what's his name? I already forgot that guy, the other guy's name. He definitely does give that energy. You're right about that. Liberty, you're right. She matched his energy. She did. She was chill. She was being chill. And then he came up and got all aggressive. Yep, she did, L1 Liar. She stood up. That she did. Okay, so that happened, right? And then we're going to look at a clip from literally Serge from his stream where Aja shares her attack with the police. They were showing videos of what happened because Danny had video, Aja had video. And here they are talking to the police.
You guys have two incidents. One for the wet and the spot, and then the second one is for the dog. The guy with the dog. The guy with the dog? What is the guy's dog too? He kept coming at her. He was attacking me. Okay. The guy was being verbal with me. He wanted to fight me right here, like because I was filming that direction, and when he approached me, he was claiming that I was recording him when I wasn't, and so he wanted to fist fight me and calling me names, derogatory names, and then while I was walking up there, excuse me, and then he crossed the street.
So they're sharing with the police. They showed the videos, you know, and they had it all on 2 videos. Does anybody know what happened? Did anything become of that? Tell me in the chat or tell me in the comments, because I saw up to the point where they shared the information, but I did not see too much about it beyond that. So I couldn't quite tell like exactly what had happened. What had happened was Danny discovered that, you guys remember when Wendell from the other day, right? Jay caught him on night security camera, played all that annoying music to try and get him to go. This guy's spread out there right in front of Scientology with all his stuff, looking like he's having some kind of janky garage sale or flea market right there on the sidewalk. He was pooping in the bushes. How do you say it? He exposed himself and was doing things he should not be doing in public, let alone around minors, and was harassing protesters, including Becky, who we all love. Don't mess with her. Do not mess with her. So look at this, you guys. I'm sure you guys probably have heard of it, some of you anyways. So he had all this stuff out there. And we talked about this here on this show, that if somebody is there like that, like him, Scientology wants him there. And he will be there until they don't want him there. and he was gone. But then look at this. Danny's going by what used to be the cadet org over by where that billboard was. And lo and behold, what does he see? Wendell's stuff on Scientology property.
Look at this. No way. Look at it. Take a picture, guys. Look at this.
Right there behind the gate. Behind the gate. It's the chair, the bags that he had. It looks almost like there was a mattress. Was that a mattress or a bed? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the comments. But what's up with that? What's up with that? He shows up, right? Has all his stuff there, gets into it with the protesters, and then suddenly he's gone. But his stuff is where? Being protected by Scientology. That's where. Okay, so it was a mattress. I thought I saw a mattress. I thought I did. And I was like, yeah, I mean, are they making like a little spot them for him? Hey, Lou Rapato, I got one of your clips coming up. Same, Elron Liar. Proud of Danny for finding this. That's why being there live streaming, you just got to point the camera. So Jody's saying Wendell followed MD Media 18 to the train and got on the same train as him today. So this guy is also following protesters, which is interesting. In fact, we're going to go take a look at Becky's stream where she went to, didn't she go to downtown LAPD because she didn't trust Hollywood to take the report and do things correctly? She went to go make a report on this guy for what he was doing and his inappropriateness from pooping in the bushes to doing nasty things with himself in public in front of people. And from what I heard, minors were there as well. This guy's like stalking. Okay. So check this out. She's there. She gave her report and she was very and rightfully traumatized by what had happened so far and not getting help. You've already been victimized and now you're not getting help. It just doubled down. And to make everything worse, what happens? Dude walks into the police department that she was in, not the Hollywood one, by the way. Okay, so Squirrel SPTV is saying Hollywood PD wouldn't take the report. Oh, that's so ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. Check this out. My heart just breaks for her.
Everybody. No, you should. He's following me. He's following me. He's following me. No, you're following me. You're following me.
Ma'am, Becky.
He's following me. I didn't know I was gonna be here.
Okay, let us talk to him and then we'll help you out, okay?
I didn't know I was gonna be here. I didn't know I was gonna be here. How did he know I was gonna be here?
Oh, that's so disturbing. How bizarre is that? And I just like, just my heart just breaks. She's so kind. If you guys aren't familiar with her, she's like done. She did the Mexican salsa, shared the recipe. She's been taking care of the other protesters. She's just had like real mom energy. And that was being done to her breaks my heart. And then it pisses me off. It's just weird. It is weird and scary. Right, Zoe? Weird and scary. Absolutely. Just a Northern Girl says the cop said Wendell was there looking for his stuff. Totally sus. No, your stuff is with Scientology over in that little den that they made you. Wow. That's a really good point too, Maui girl. Love how they want to talk to him first and not calming her. Yeah. Susan says, I was scared and sad for her. Those police wouldn't help her, wouldn't even walk her to her car. What in the world? What is up with that? What is up with that? Trish Ryan, thank you so much. And thank you for being here. I'm glad you've been here since day one. That's awesome. Thank you. Laconic makes a good point. Wendell's demeanor was totally different, not acting crazy for the PD. Yeah, his facial expressions, what he would do with his mouth, all of that was different. It was. And for those of you who were there in the live chat, ooh, my heart goes out to you too. That it's just traumatic to witness like that. Boy, you guys have been through a lot, I feel like, with the chat. Just hasn't it been this week? You've been kidnapped, you've been arrested, and now this. Yeah, exactly, D. How much is a woman's safety worth to the LAPD? Yes. Let's go over to Kansas City. We're going to look at Z News, where she was hit with some splash tech out there in Kansas City. She was chalking up a message, protesting. Watch this, you guys. This is just next level ridiculous from Scientology. Watch this.
Hey Diana, how you doing? Little does she know, one, that's technically assault, and two, it's gonna make it look so much better.
I mean, just you know, we're just gonna just open the door, throw the water out.
Hey Diana, how you doing?
And she's just like, she just calm, cool, and collected about it too. And she knew the person that was inside. The person that was inside knew her. But no, let's go like bucket tech some people. Let's just go dump water on them. Right, Jennifer? And the thing is too, it's like when it's wet, that the chalk actually sticks better. So there is some truth about that. There is some truth about that. But weird. Yeah, that's in Kansas City. Kansas City, new technique there. I'm telling you. Okay, so let's go to St. Louis, where Lou Repetto was there. This is actually from, there's a guy, the channel is Christ's Reward, and he's been carrying a cross. I think he's on some kind of like a mission or a journey. I don't know what you'd call it, pilgrimage, where he's carrying this cross. I don't know if it's across the state or across the country, but he showed up there outside St. Louis Scientology, and I thought it was fantastic that Lou got in there and was able to share with the guy what's happening there. But we're going to look. I think this is a little short that they made. Check this out.
Years ago, in order to enslave you on this planet. I think it's really beautiful that this is happening right here in front of the most offensive, atrocious place.
And keep in mind, this is on Christ's Reward. This is on his channel. So he's like shouting out the whole thing too.
Right behind you. So this is like a beautiful moment to have.
Well, how can I pray for you today?
Pray for strength and boundaries. I have a hard time with boundaries. My name's Kate.
Jesus, I pray for Kate today. I pray for her to have strength and God help her with all of her boundaries, saying yes and no and distancing herself and give her wisdom.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you.
Amen. Thank you.
Yep.
And who is Jesus to you?
Some would say that we're the Lord's, we're speaking to the Lord right now. Right? Saying, hey, you cult, get out of here. They don't believe in God.
Okay.
They say that God is invented by psychiatry trillions of years ago in order to enslave you on this planet.
That's right. That's right. Don't you love all the honks and everything too? All the support that they're getting. That's right. I love when worlds come together, when different people cross paths and realize that, hey, we have a lot in common. We see Scientology as a cult and a detriment to everybody around it. And you do too. Just love that. Just being in the right place at the right time there. Okay, we're going to look at a clip from L. Ron Lyer. This dude, this Scientologist was like extra. He was just extra in all the ways. He did not get the memo, apparently, that, I think because it's in St. Louis where he didn't quite hear that, hey, don't engage with the protesters. Don't engage. This dude went out there and stole the sign, right? L. Ron Lyer was down a little ways, and this guy was like, yeah, that's my opportunity. I'm going to go out there and steal your sign.
Put my sign down. Put my sign down, sir. I'm calling the police right now. Right now. Somebody call the police. Call the police. Give me my sign back. Give me my sign back. Give me my sign back. Scientology kills, sir. Do you know that? Do you know Scientology kills? What happened to Rachel Wilkinson? Ask Chad, what happened to Rachel Wilkinson? What about this new org? What about this new org that you guys bought in 2007 over off of Lafayette Avenue? What happened to all the fundraising money from that? All the millions of dollars you guys gave.
I love that he is literally giving them the business about stuff that is true in that area. What about this? What about that? And it gets even better.
For that org, there's a for sale sign on it right now. Why?
We know what you're doing.
We know what you're doing. That's why we're out here.
These are the most decent people in the world, doing the most decent work in the world. And that's what you...
Did you hear that? These are the most decent people in the world doing the most important work in the world. This is what Scientologists believe. It's why they tolerate a lot of the BS, the financial abuse, the emotional abuse in the Sea organization, the physical abuse. This is why, because they really think they're saving the planet, that what they're doing is so important. This is why they will disconnect some of them from children, family members, friends they've known forever, because they think that this is so important. That this is so important. I mean, it really is like what they believe. And you really get a taste of that with this guy.
Sir, your nose is just like Pinocchio right now. It hit me in the face. That is a big fat lie. That is a big fat lie. You know it. You know it, sir.
The real question is, what have you done?
What have I done?
Yes.
I'm taking down this horrible criminal cult. This is a criminal cult. What happened to Rachel Wilkinson? What happened to Rachel Wilkinson? She had an affair with Chad Lane. Chad Lane goes and he praises the Xenu, and he gets his life back here in St. Louis.
I mean, he really does. He gives them the business on the whole thing. And these are real people there in St. Louis that this guy should know. And so what the Scientologist is trying to do is to turn it back and find out, what are your crimes? We know what you're doing, because the L. Ron Hubbard playbook says the critic to Scientology is committing crimes, heinous crimes, and you just need to find out what they are. That's where you get, years ago, the infamous Jenna Elfman called somebody a baby rapist. Do you remember that? Because that's what it's about. They'll also accuse you of doing really gross things. It's called the murder routine in Scientology. You'll get accused of doing something so horrific so that what you actually did, you will just be willing to spit out because it's not as bad as the thing that they're saying. Sharona, thank you for being a member for 2 months. The last few days in LA have been very telling. Glad you're home, safe and sound, and caught up with some rest before tackling this craziness that's happening. Yes, definitely. Oh, I'll have to look for that, Love Maddie. I love that Eric Rader started to use chalk tech across the street from the Big Blue on Kaiser's sidewalk and had a wonderful informing talk with a local fellow earlier today. More people walk that side. That is true. That's actually a really good idea. Carla, will you ever grace LA with your presence? Yes. I do want to go, because I have not been back to Big Blue, to L. Ron Hubbard Way, since I left Scientology. I do. I'm not sure when exactly, but it's definitely on my list, and I do want to do that. But back to the sign stealer. Just bizarre. I mean, you got to go watch the video, because it goes on. It goes on for some time. It goes on. All right, now let's see here. Let's make sure. I'm going to grab some questions. DSA-tology. Hi, Natalie. Just found out that you were born and raised in Hawaii. I'm Love from Oahu. Oh, hey. Yeah, I was just there. I got back this morning. I am incredibly jet lagged. That's fantastic. I know there were a few people who watched the channel who are in Hawaii, which I absolutely love. Oh, and you know what else was funny? While I was on the flight so my sisters and I went from Oahu to the Big Island to pick up our dad's ashes, have a celebration there, and actually scatter some of them there. I ran into, not Scientology related, but you're never going to believe it, I ran into my first crush from the 4th grade. He was on the plane going from Big Island to Oahu when we were going back. So that was just kind of fun. That was fun to see. That's right. Aaron's coming to LA next week. That's right. I don't know the exact dates, but yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. Petty Lane says Wendell is a Sciento. It's on DOA's CP. I'm going blank on what CP is, but yes, there I did see a screenshot of that name, Wendell Manning, who's you know how Scientology lists all the people and what they've completed, their service completions, that name was in there. Now, is it for sure his name? Is it for sure the same person? I don't know. Small world. Kind of weird though, because I looked at it and the services that he did weren't beginning services. I forget what they are, but I remember looking at it thinking, this is not like, you know, overcoming ups and downs in life course. These are major Scientology services, which was really weird. Christina, thank you, Natalie, for doing the work for those against Sciento everywhere. Hey. Thank you guys for being here. As you also know, and we're going to cover more of this tomorrow, Pearl Fest is happening in Austin, and it's amazing. Laura FM is out there. Pearl Snappy, of course. Selfless Self is there. Liz Ferris is there. I think Miss Kim is there. And I'm sure there's other people. Oh, Lori Plays from Clearwater is there. And Cheryl on the Loose, also from Clearwater, is there in Austin for Pearl Fest. So this is going to be really, yeah, that's right. We love our Pearl Fest. It sounds like a ton of fun, and we're going to be covering more of that tomorrow on the recap. Jennifer, has anyone successfully infiltrated the cult? Well, I guess it depends on what you mean by successfully. There have been content creators in years past, you know, who've gone in and done videos and things like that. But so I guess they have, if you would define success by they made it in, they got the video, they got information, and they left. If you mean it kind of like that, then they have. All right, so I'm going to show you. I have to share this with you guys. Did you see my shirt? We've been being asked to make these support shirts for Tony. It says My Tony Tough, and it's got the SPTV logo on it. There's two versions of this. Well, there's one like this, and then there's one that Tony designed himself. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, so this is the one that I just showed you. But there's a link down below in the video description, and also on the channel, there's a link for merch. Yeah, My Tony Tough. And then there's the one. Hold on a second. Let me see if he's nearby. I was just checking in with him to see if he could, he designed one himself, so which is also in the merch shop. I just didn't have it pulled up. Hold on a second. Okay, everybody, this is the one that Tony himself designed. My Tough Tony with never in tough. Okay, and let's see the back. SPTV logo, and then SP Nation Tough. You got to come a little bit that way. And this is Odin, our dog. Thanks, babe. You all right? Okay. He is a little tired. Tony started treatment yesterday. So he goes, well, some of it's every day, and then he goes for an infusion every 3 weeks. So we're just like hoping he doesn't get a ton of side effects and stuff from it. But I am so happy to be home and be with him again. Yes, love my Tony. Absolutely. That hunk of a model. Yes, he is a great model. He absolutely is. Even as tired as he is, he still brings it. He still brings the vibe. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Erin. It's good to be back. Good to be back. Yep, best model ever. Okay, so it's so late in the day. I'm so thrown. In Hawaii, it's like 12 something right now. Fluffer Squirrel UK, thank you for being a member for 2 months. Tilty Bird and myself did a paint and ponder live stream inspired by the love you two share. Thanks for sharing and being our muse. Appreciate you. That's right. I saw that. In fact, it made me tear up in all the good ways. In all the good ways. Fluffer Squirrel UK. That reminded me, I wanted to share it. I thought it was so great. Paint and ponder. Because did you share on the community page? Maybe that's where I saw it. Let's see. No, well, I will find it and share it tomorrow. But they did this. It was so pretty. I loved it. I saw it, made me cry. I loved it so much. That's right, Eric. Natalie's hunka burning Tony. Thank you guys so much for the well wishes. I wanted to also say thank you to everybody who's been sending cards. I came back. I was gone for about 9 days and we had gotten a few before, but then Tony had gone through and read all of them and also shares his thank you on it. It's been so sweet and fun to get all those cards. His sons were here as well while I was gone and they were able to see them and read them. And it really, really warmed their hearts to see that there's so much support in our community here for Tony and for our family. And it means the world. It truly does, you guys. And I want to say thank you as well for hanging with me in Hawaii and rolling with all the, the time changes and all of that. We got through the week. We did all the things. And I was so happy to have all of you with me in Hawaii as my plus one. I kept saying, you're my plus one. We're going to go protest in Hawaii. You're my plus one. But thank you. We absolutely love the cards. They're fantastic. And some of them came from Ireland, all over the place. But like I said, everybody's read them. Tony read them. I read them. His sons were reading through them. It was super cute. Super cute. Erin, Nancy will hook you up. She'll throw up the P.O. box. We love you, Natalie and Tony. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, she has it in the chat there. Nancy kicked off this card campaign. I didn't even know what it was, but it has been really a lot of fun and to see all the places that they come in from as well. And like I said, it's fun to share with other people. Eric, I agree. Fluffer is the greatest. Yes, I can't wait to share with you guys that Jade, if you're still here in the chat, if and you have a moment, could you email me a link to where or timestamp or clip from where that images that you created, the painting, because I wanted to show it to Tony and I want to share it too. So here's what's going to happen. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing the regular time for doing our Scientology News Recap, which is 10 a.m. Central Time. And I'm working on, I had to reschedule a couple of interviews and I'm going to have those coming up. We're going to have Annette Walters on again. She was on a couple weeks ago before I went to Hawaii and was absolutely fabulous. So we're going to be doing that. And remember, if you see something, say something, send it to Natalie@lifeafteroccult.com. Make sure you include the link, a timestamp, or if you clip it, if it's a minute or less, and just let me know what I'm looking at. I really appreciate that. Any other news too, if you come across an article or something else online, send it because I love seeing it. A lot of you sent me the link to Sloan's video, and it's fun too to see how we watch the same creators. I appreciate that so much. So before you head out here, please remember, Nancy, you want to see if anybody's live somewhere? Please remember to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and check that notification bell because now that I'm back home, I'm going to get to doing those interviews again. And I have some coming up that I'm so excited about. And if you guys have ideas too of people that you'd like me to interview here, let me know. I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts are. Completely. Let's see. I think Nancy's checking for us to see if anybody is on live right now. And just as a reminder, you can always go to sptv.space and you see a list of people who are online. In fact, Nancy, why don't we do Austin since we were talking about Pearl Fest? My brain is coming together. We were talking about Pearl Fest in Austin. So let's go over who's out there. Who is out in Austin? Lara FM is there. So let's go. Anybody who wants to, let's go do a Natalie raid over at Lara FM. So let me pull that up. Let's see, because I can see she is live right now at Austin, and they're getting ready for Austin's graduation. Yep, neuropsych. I'm totally tired. I did sleep when I got home. I showered and I slept for a little bit. I didn't want to sleep too much because I want to try to get back on Minnesota time, back on Central time as soon as possible. Hit the ground running. So if all you guys, if you're still going to be online, go check it out. Check out Lara FM stream. Cheerful Sprinkler, thank you so much for that super sticker. Chris just checked. Wendell stuff is now gone. Interesting. Very interesting. My, does the plot thicken? Does it not? Does it not thicken? But yeah, everybody head over to Lara FM. Let's
up right now. Just kidding. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
you're starting to see it. Check it out because they're in Austin, which again is for Pearl Fest. There's going to be lots of stuff happening. It'll be fun to watch over the weekend, especially I think tonight is graduation and it's 6 o'clock. So it ought to be getting pretty busy there. Oh, that's so interesting that Wendell's stuff was gone. It was gone in 30 minutes. Once it was on the live stream, it was gone. That is interesting, isn't it? Isn't it interesting? All right, everybody go over there, Lara FM.
Hi, guys.
Show her some love. Blow her up. Make sure I gotta like the video. I'm liking the video. Subscribing.
We're here.
She's saying hi to everybody right now. I like that dip. So smash and go see Lara. Oh, Danny checked and Wendell's stuff was already gone yesterday. You can hear, is that Pearl snapping in the background?
OMG. Why are you guys waiting?
All right, everybody. I will see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Time. We are going to go ahead and do another recap tomorrow, and I'll see what interviews I get lined up over the weekend. If you want to stay on top of everything, hit that notification bell. Thank you all for being here. Big thank you to my mods. I have missed all of you. Even though we were in touch in Hawaii, I felt like I just couldn't focus as much as I'd like to have my time with you. So here we are back in the home studio. I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, I hope everybody gets out there and just has the most amazing cult-free day.